Today, we're going to be learning about different families of relations. Your goal by the end of this is to be able to look at a graph and be able to name the type of relation that it is, and to look at the equation and be able to pair it up with both the graph and its name. So our first type of relation is a linear function. And as you know, a linear function simply is a line. And an equation for a line, and I know you've worked on this in the past, is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of your line and b is your y-intercept. So with numbers, this might look something like y equals 3x plus 2. We have a slope of 3. That means that it goes up 3 and 1 to the right, up 3 and 1 to the right, and it starts at 2 on the y-axis. The second type of relation that we're looking at is an exponential function. And an exponential function is a function that gets really, really big, really, really fast, or really, really small, really, really fast. And shockingly enough, that is going to look in the format of y equals a to the x power. So our variable, our x, is an exponent. So as we know, exponents are multiplication, so that's why it gets big so fast or small so fast if we're looking at smaller numbers. So here we have y equals 3 to the x power. So these are our exponential functions. The third type of relation that we're looking at is a quadratic function. A quadratic function is a parabola. And our quadratic function is in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And of course, our a, b's, and c's symbolize numbers, and our x's stay the same, and our y's. So as we're looking at this, we can see a couple things about our quadratic function, our parabola. Where it crosses the x-axis here and here are called our roots. So our example here is we have y equals 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. So this is what you are going to see the formula look like with numbers in there. So for a quadratic function, our highest power of x is x squared. Notice for our linear function, our highest power of x is a plain x. And our exponential function, our x is in our power position. Our third one is an absolute value function. And our absolute value function looks like a V. And we're going to be looking at absolute value functions just like distance from a number line. So we have here our absolute value equation, which is y equals the absolute value of x. Now notice in this case for our absolute value functions, our x is inside the absolute value. So that's how you know that we're going to get that V shape. So we might have something like y equals the absolute value of x plus 1. Now, of course, to graph any of these, all you're going to do is plug in a number for x and solve for y. And that answer is your ordered pair. Our last type of function that we're going to be looking at today is a cubic function. And our cubic function kind of goes like this, right? So it's like half of a parabola turning into a half of a parabola going the other direction. And our cubic function, of course, has a cube as the highest power. So our equation is y equals x to the third power. So an example of this might be y equals 4x to the third power. So our cubic function kind of switches directions. It changes its mind halfway through that parabola. So these are the 5 that we're looking at. These are the 5 functions that you are responsible for knowing. And we're also going to be graphing these by plugging in the numbers for x and solving for y.